Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel for a brand new Ninjago video. Today, I'm doing an episode review for episode 7 of season 15, Ninjago City vs Ninja, and sharing my thoughts on it. Without further ado, let's get into it. The episode starts with a ninja at the courthouse where they are sentenced to 5 years in prison by a judge. They arrive at Criterion Prison and see some other criminals they recognize, such as Ronin. Lloyd gets a visitor who he thinks is Wu, but it's actually the kabuki mask person. This character tells him that the worst is yet to come and leaves, with Lloyd chasing after him or her to no avail. The kabuki mask person goes to Vangelis and invites him to join the Council of the Crystal King. Overall, the court scene in this episode is great. I love how it emphasizes that the ninjas are in the wrong. It's a reminder of how Crystalized is handling the criminal ninja thing more better than season 6. I find that the judge's sentencing of the ninja for 5 years is reasonable, considering how the crime is intentionally committed and how they have a long history of being heroes for Ninjago City. From the way I see it, I feel like 5 years isn't so bad for a sentence. At least they still have their youth and time to enjoy their freedom again when they're somewhere in their mid-20s. I don't know their actual ages, but that's my take on it. I love the part when Zane turns on his emotion meter, which prompts him to scream from a high emotional reaction, probably because he hasn't turned on his emotions for so long. It was really funny, and I couldn't help laughing. This episode shows a bit of Nia after her revival, and it shows her blaming herself for the ninja being in prison because of what they have to do to bring her back to her human form. It's great to see how she addresses this guilt and the feeling of responsibility. It's pretty iconic when Wu mentions that when Nia became Samurai X, she managed to help many people without feeling powerless. This summarizes her overall story in the show, and I thought it was a well-written moment to see, especially when this is very much in character for her in previous seasons. It's also great that we see Ronin making his return after we last saw him in a non-speaking cameo in Seabound. It's also great that we see Ronin making his return after we last saw him in a non-speaking cameo in Seabound. Lloyd tells him that he has never done anything for anyone other than for himself. This conversation hints that Ronin will get a redemption arc and comes back to play a bigger role in part 2 of Crystalized. There's a tense interaction between Lloyd and this kabuki mask person, and I love how ominous the scene is, especially when this character tells Lloyd about the Crystal King and his plans. Based on the word choice and mannerisms of the kabuki mask, it is most likely Harumi. The scene when Lloyd tries chasing down the kabuki mask person is pretty decent. There are lots of obstacles that get in the way, especially the prison guards who think that Lloyd is trying to escape prison. The pacing of this chase sequence is pretty fast and intense for some parts. I love how we see the Crystal King's servant recruiting more villains from past seasons, which is a great way to bring them back. I like the scene with Vangelis being freed from prison and being given a mask that resembles the one from his form as the Skull Sorcerer. So far, this episode has its funny moments, but at the same time that there are moments that are quite serious, especially the threat of the Crystal King. However, I didn't like how some other prisoners in the show didn't have the chance to speak, especially Ultraviolet, one of the skeleton guys, and a serpentine guy who I believe is Mesmo. Although it's not much of a big deal, these are just some missed opportunities that they could have had. Another thing that I didn't like is the animation in the chase scene. Although the looks of it are great, I didn't like that in the part when Lloyd gets pinned down and all of a sudden, he's on top of the prison guards. That's just so unrealistic in my opinion. Not to mention that even though Jay's voice was better in the first few episodes of Crystalized, it looks like his voice has gotten high-pitched and it sounded very childish like before, which is underwhelming to say the least. My score for this episode is 8.75 out of 10. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share with anyone or everyone you know. In the description, you'll find a link to my Twitter account, and you can leave your thoughts in the comments section. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.